Hello, comrades. This is quick video. It's apology to American people. I would like, on behalf of the Russian Empire, if there is such a, yeah, of course there is. On behalf of Russia, I would like to apologize to the American people. When Donald Trump got voted into power, a lot of people said that's Russian collusion, and I wish that this were true. I really do. But as Russians would never put Trump into power. Trump is patriot. Trump only wants America for America, which is good thing for America. Same as Putin only wants Russia for Russia. That's the way it is. You have to be like this. You have to be patriot. Unfortunately, in America, it's driven by corporations, not the Senate. And unfortunately, the corporations are not patriots. So my apology is this. I apologize for not getting Trump back into power. Because American people really need Trump back in power. Because what's coming next is not good. Not good for America, not good for the world. What is coming next is an absolute disaster of biblical proportions. You see, your country is in danger of being written over to a really big empire. One that's been taken over the entire planet. I'm talking about China. Now, I know that this is a touchy subject, but I will try to explain. China has been taken over planet in a brilliant campaign. Without firing a single bullet, they have managed to take over two-thirds of planet, maybe more, just through economic posturing. There are trillions of dollars in debt, but still they hold all the cards. And the people that are going to be in charge of America are part of this. You see, China buys politicians. And then once it's bought these politicians do everything that China wants them to do in order to get all the resources out of that country. You see, I don't know if you notice, but all the industry is moving to China. All of the industry. All the steel manufacturing, car manufacturing, all industry. Everything is slowly moving to China. Trump knew this because he was part of this bullshit. But when he came into power, he said, you know what, this is not good for America. It might have been good for my business, but not good for America. And he's absolutely right. What he needed to do is move away from that. So he moved all industry back to America. Opened factories back up, put sanctions on Chinese goods. Therefore, America for America. Simple. Unfortunately, the big media networks, who are now communists, you were so dead against communists. During the 60s, you were calling everybody red. And now, communists are ruling your country. To me, this is absolutely fucking hilarious. Communists have taken over your country and you don't even know. You're still sitting there like little children going, I live in a free country. America is free. America hasn't been free. Ever. You are not free America. You're not even number one country in anything other than crime or defense spending. Everything else, you're rock bottom. And you don't see it. You're idiots. Anyway, we would never vote Donald Trump into power. I tell you why. We would vote Clinton into power. Why? Because Clinton and Russia have done great deals in past. You look into Clinton Foundation, billions of dollars that were made, probably trillions of dollars, that were made by deals with Russia and Clinton's oil fields. Slice up the planet between us. This has always been the case. So if we wanted anybody in power and we were going to collude, it would be the Clintons, not Trump. But what is coming into power now in America is very, very bad. You will not know what to do. You will be so relieved that this maniac Trump is gone that you'll still be partying when your house is being sold to a foreign industry. Your country is already gone. Your industry is already gone. Trump cannot pull back from this. And there has been some dodgy going ons in this voting platform of yours. We can tell this, but listen carefully. America has always been number one in hacking other people's systems. So if anybody was doing any hacking, it would be America on Americans. That's what's going on, nothing else. Let's face it, if American media is to be believed, then Trump was worst president of America. But that's not true. I mean, he did not drop nuclear bomb on other country. He did not go to war with other country based on a lie. And he certainly did not pick up dogs by the ears. So there have been much worse presidents. But let's face it, American media only concentrate on negative, not on positive. During Obama administration, you would never hear too much negative. Okay, you hear some, but not all. But I will tell you this, during Obama administration, ISIS was taking over the planet. When Trump took power, he told his generals, look, don't ask me for advice on ISIS. Deal with it at your discretion. Whereas ICE is now, few and far between. So don't tell me there's only negative. But the media today is very different. How we feel towards the president today is very different. Very different to what it was back in the 60s and 70s. And to prove my point, I'm going to leave you with this. This is John Fitzgerald Kennedy's inaugural address. I want you to tell me what you think. If this were a speech he made today, would you still feel same way about Mr. Kennedy? Mrs. Yuri, you have a nice day.
You, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of your ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Vice President Johnson, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chief Justice, President Eisenhower, Vice President Nixon, President Truman, Reverend clergy, fellow citizens. We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom, symbolizing an end as well as a beginning, signifying renewal as well as change. For I have sworn before you and Almighty God the same solemn oath our forebears prescribed nearly a century and 3/4 ago. The world is very different now, for man holds in his mortal hands the power to abolish all forms of human poverty and all forms of human life. And yet the same revolutionary beliefs for which our forebears fought are still at issue around the globe. The belief that the rights of man come not from the generosity of the state, but from the hand of God. We dare not forget today that we are the heirs of that first revolution. Let the word go forth from this time and place to friend and foe alike that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans born in this century, tempered by war, disciplined by a hard and bitter peace, proud of our ancient heritage, and unwilling to witness or permit the slow undoing of those human rights to which this nation has always been committed and to which we are committed today at home and around the world. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and the success of liberty. This much we pledge and more. To those old allies whose cultural and spiritual origins we share, we pledge the loyalty of faithful friends. United, there is little we cannot do. in a host of cooperative ventures. Divided, there is little we can do, for we dare not meet a powerful challenge at odds and split asunder. To those new states whom we welcome to the ranks of the free, we pledge our word that one form of colonial control shall not have passed away merely to be replaced by a far more iron tyranny. We shall not always expect to find them supporting our view, but we shall always hope to find them strongly supporting their own freedom, and to remember that in the past, those who foolishly sought power by riding the back of the tiger ended up inside. To those people in the huts and villages of half the globe struggling to break the bonds of mass misery, we pledge our best efforts to help them help themselves for whatever period is required, not because the communists may be doing it, not because we seek their votes, but because it is right. If a free society cannot help the many who are poor, it cannot save the few who are rich. To our sister republics south of our border, we offer a special pledge to convert our good words into good deeds, in a new alliance for progress, to assist free men and free governments in casting off the chains of poverty. But this peaceful revolution of hope cannot become the prey of hostile powers. Let all our neighbors know that we shall join with them to oppose aggression or subversion anywhere in the Americas. And let every other power know that this hemisphere intends to remain the master of its own house. To that World Assembly of Sovereign States, the United Nations, our last best hope, in an age where the instruments of war have far outpaced the instruments of peace, we renew our pledge of support to prevent it from becoming merely a forum for invective, to strengthen its shield of the new and the weak, and to enlarge the area in which its writ may run. Finally, to those nations who would make themselves our adversary, we offer not a pledge, but a request that both sides begin anew the quest for peace. Before the dark powers of destruction, unleashed by science, engulf all humanity in planned or accidental self-destruction, we dare not tempt them with weakness, for only when our arms are sufficient beyond doubt can we be certain beyond doubt that they will never be employed. But neither can two great and powerful groups of nations take comfort from our present course, both sides overburdened by the cost of modern weapons, both rightly alarmed by the steady spread of the deadly atom, yet both racing to alter that uncertain balance of terror that stays the hand of mankind's final war. So let us begin anew, remembering on both sides that civility is not a sign of weakness, and sincerity is always subject to proof. Let us never negotiate out of fear, but let us never fear to negotiate. Let both sides explore what problems unite us instead of belaboring those problems which divide us. Let both sides, for the first time, formulate serious and precise proposals for the inspection and control of arms, and bring the absolute power to destroy other nations under the absolute control of all nations. Let both sides seek to invoke the wonders of science instead of its terrors. Together, let us explore the stars, conquer the deserts, eradicate disease, tap the ocean depths, and encourage the arts and commerce. Let both sides unite to heed in all corners of the earth the command of Isaiah to undo the heavy burden and let the oppressed go free. And if a beachhead of cooperation may push back the jungle of suspicion, let both sides join in creating a new endeavor, not a new balance of power, but a new world of law, where the strong are just and the weak secure and the peace preserved. All this will not be finished in the first 100 days, nor will it be finished in the first 1,000 days, nor in the life of this administration, nor even perhaps in our lifetime on this planet. But let us begin. In your hands, my fellow citizens, more than mine, will rest the final success or failure of our course. Since this country was founded, each generation of Americans has been summoned to give testimony to its national loyalty. The graves of young Americans who answered the call to service surround the globe. Now the trumpet summons us again, not as a call to bear arms, though arms we need, not as a call to battle, though in battle we are, but a call to bear the burden of a long twilight struggle, year in and year out, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, a struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself. Can we forge against these enemies a grand and global alliance, north and south, east and west, that can assure a more fruitful life for all mankind? Will you join in that historic effort? In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. I do not believe that any of us would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man. Finally, whether you are citizens of America or citizens of the world, ask of us here the same high standards of strength and sacrifice which we ask of you. With a good conscience, our only sure reward, with history the final judge of our deeds, let us go forth to lead the land we love, asking His blessing and His help, but knowing that here on earth God's work must truly be our own.